Good evening. Originality is nothing but judicious imitation. Welcome to BMC News Live in English, brought to you by Al Hilal Hospital and Medical Centers. I am Vinod Narayanan, joining you with the daily news updates. Today's headlines.
His Majesty the King, first supporter of press freedom, says Speaker. Saudi Hajj Ministry sets end date of Umrah season. Man arrested in Saudi for illegal shooting. Oman releases over 1,000 prisoners. Beijing curbs public transport as COVID-19 spreads in China.
News in detail. National Communications Center Chief stressed media institutions' professional role and contributions to Bahrain's progress. Chief Executive Officer of the National Communications Center, Yusuf Muhammad Al Bin Khalil, has affirmed the professional role played by Bahrain's media institutions through undertaking their national tasks with responsibility in order to contribute to the kingdom's progress march. Thanks to the unlimited support of His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa and interest of His Royal Highness Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa, the Crown Prince and Prime Minister Al Bin Khalil expressed pride in His Majesty the King's message, marking the World Press Freedom Day, observed worldwide every May 3rd. His Majesty the King, first supporter of press freedom, says Speaker. Speaker of the Council of Representatives, Fawzia bint Abdullah Zainal, has praised His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa's message, marking the World Press Freedom Day, observed worldwide every May 3rd. The Speaker affirmed that His Majesty King Hamad is the primary supporter of the freedom of opinion and expression as well as press and the media in Bahrain, noting that the landmark achievements attained by the kingdom under His Majesty the King's reform project and comprehensive development process prove the royal support for responsible freedom of opinion and expression and the enlightening role of the press in building the nation and effective partnership in all national projects, initiatives and programs. His Majesty the King's message on World Press Freedom Day hailed by the Bahrain Journalists Association. The Bahrain Journalists Association has extended deepest thanks and appreciation to His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa, marking the World Press Freedom Day, observed worldwide on May 3rd. Praising the royal keynote message on the occasion, Bahrain Journalists Association asserted that the kingdom's celebration of the World Press Freedom Day reflects the distinguished role and status of the local press, as well as the landmark achievements it has attained at the Arab and international levels. Bahraini won third in Quran recital competition. Bahraini Muhammad Mujahid won 1 million riyals after being placed third in an international Quran recital and prayer contest. More than 40,000 contestants from 80 countries took part in Send-Off Speech, a competition launched by Saudi Arabia General Entertainment Authority. Bahraini fashion designers enlisted in Forbes annual ranking. Bahraini fashion designers Sheikha Noor bint Rashid Al Khalifa and Sheikha Haya bint Muhammad Al Khalifa have been listed on the Forbes Middle East's 4th annual ranking of 30 women behind Middle Eastern brands 2022 for the second consecutive year. Despite this year's list having only 30 ranks featured as opposed to the usual 40, the duo maintained their unique position as the only Bahraini brand featured out of hundreds of nominations for business women in various categories, including accessories, baby care, beauty, fashion, footwear, jewelry and perfumery across 6 countries in the Middle East and North Africa region. Company ordered to pay back BD 6,500 to client. A contracting company has been ordered to pay back BD 6,500 to a woman after using poor quality materials in building her home. The 63-year-old Bahraini woman gave BD 60,000 to the company to build her the property in Rifah in 2019. Today's COVID updates.
COVID updates brought to you by Al Hilal Hospital and Medical Centers.
Saudi Hajj Ministry sets end date of Umrah season. The Ministry of Hajj and Umrah has set the end date of the Umrah season for those who are coming from outside Saudi Arabia. Those who are coming from outside Saudi Arabia can request an applicant to issue an Umrah visa through the approved electronic platforms for Umrah services for individuals. The ministry confirmed that it would announce the dates for registration and submission of Hajj this year, as well as the procedures related to it through its official channels. Now we will be back after a very short break.
The 16th branch of Megamart and Macromart supermarkets in Bahrain has opened in Sahala. The best offers are available to the customers at affordable rates. Everyone is welcome. During and around the opening day, a variety of fish including salmon, meat and dairy products, roastery, frozen items, food and non-food items, groceries, fruits and vegetables, electronics, garments and ready-to-eat food items are available to the customers at affordable rates. Hearty welcome to all. Megamart and Macromart, your favorite shopping destination.
Welcome back. Man arrested in Saudi for illegal shooting. Saudi police had arrested a citizen who had shot in public, putting other people's lives in danger. The man was apprehended by Riyadh police after he had illegally fired in the air in the Hotat Bani Tamim Governorate near the capital. The arrest was the second reported in Riyadh in a few weeks. Oman released over 1,000 prisoners. The Faq Karba initiative, which seeks to free those jailed for insolvency in Oman, has so far managed to release more than 1,000 prisoners during the month of Ramadan. The highest number of released prisoners are from Muscat Governorate at 196, 190 from North Al Batina and 148 from South Al Shakriya. Qatar allows GCC citizens to travel using IDs. The Qatari Ministry of Interior has announced that Qatari and GCC countries' citizens can use their ID cards to travel to and from the country and other GCC countries as of Friday. Qatari citizens traveling to other Gulf countries shall consider travel requirements for the countries to which they want to travel. The statement added, the measure will facilitate the movement of citizens of the GCC countries and is in line with the gradual lifting of COVID-19 restrictions. Qatar has also announced an exemption from online registration for GCC nationals, GCC residents, European Union nationals and European Union residents who meet the immunity criteria for entry into the country. Japan increases crude oil imports from UAE. Japan's imports of crude oil from the UAE increased significantly in March 2022, reaching 34.11 million barrels compared to 24.67 million barrels in February, according to data from its Ministry of Economy, Trade and Industry. The figure represents 38.3% of Japan's total oil imports. Japan's total oil imports in March amounted to 89.15 million barrels compared to 78.51 million barrels in February. The Asian nation uses oil to generate about a third of its energy needs. UAE expects dusty and humid weather on Wednesday. UAE residents can expect dusty weather during the daytime on Wednesday. The National Center for Meteorology predicts moderate to fresh winds will cause blowing sand, reducing the horizontal visibility over exposed areas. The winds are said to become lighter by evening. It will be humid by night and Thursday morning over some coastal areas, especially northward. At least 20 killed in Uganda bus accident, police say. Ugandan police say 20 people have been killed after a passenger bus crashed into a tea estate of a highway in western Uganda. The Associated Press reported. Police said at least 7 of the victims in the Wednesday morning accident are minors. There was no immediate information on what caused the accident, among the deadliest in Uganda in recent years. The bus was traveling from the city of Fort Portal to the Ugandan capital, Kampala. Deadly motor accidents are frequent in Uganda, where roads and highways are narrow and often littered with potholes. Head-on collisions involving heavy vehicles are common. Beijing curbs public transport as COVID-19 spreads in China. The Chinese capital Beijing shut dozens of metro stations and bus routes on Wednesday in its campaign to stop the spread of COVID-19. The capital shut more than 40 subway stations, about a tenth of the network, and 158 bus routes. Service providers said most of the suspended stations and routes are in the Chaoyang district, the epicenter of Beijing's outbreak. With that, we come to the end of today's news. Stay tuned for daily news updates in BMC News Live English at 7:30 p.m. every day. I'm Vinod Narayan signing off from BMC News Live. Good night.